Now we go to the
Oh
controversial
yeah.
fight. The controversial fight of 259, the fight that I was looking forward to the most, that you were looking forward to as well. But this was the one, this was why I wanted to, what I was excited about most. And God damn it. I think that sums it up. God damn it, Petr. Why? This
And
ended in the almost the fifth. It was close to the end of the fourth round. At this point, people have seen it. If you had him down, Aljo was down, and Petr just blasts him with a knee, loses the fight, loses his belt. And after hearing both of those guys speak, neither was expecting it to be the result of that knee being a disqualification with the title being turned over. It seemed like both guys expected the decision to be a no contest. At least Aljo claimed he didn't expect
I don't
that
know
he was going to
about
get
that,
the
man.
win.
I don't know about that because like
He said that. I don't know. Take him for his word or not, but that's what he said.
he was pulling a Neymar on that one, dude. Like that was a really fine act there, and it's funny because some people were pointing it out too. If you go look at his Twitter bio, he's literally got actor in there. So
That's funny.
like I get it. Okay, you got need, but what was all the drama after the fact? You know, like it's gonna take you a bit to recover, sure, whatever. But it didn't look like he was that hurt, man. I gotta be honest, and people are gonna flame me for this one
He
too.
was
Saying,
chilling after.
yeah,
They
I
took him
know.
to the hospital. He was fine. He was chilling after,
No,
taking
but
pictures, doing videos.
no. But here's the thing. You can not feel the effects from a concussion for days later, man. You could be partying with your buddies and not know that you have a
Yeah.
concussion. You know what I mean? Like it's possible.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
should get a
exactly.
football
Huh?
player on and talk about CT and see if that's the case.
I don't know, man. I thought this was very clearly at that point, had that round ended, I thought it was a clear 4 rounds to 0. And then weirdly enough, I think I sent this to you last night, or the night of the fight. No, I think it was last night. So let's look at the judges' scorecards through 3 rounds, because the fourth obviously hadn't ended. So through 3 rounds, 2 judges scored round one for Petr. One judge scored round one for Aljo. I don't know what they were watching. And then all 3 judges scored the second round for Aljo. And then 2 judges scored round 3 for Jan. And then the other judge that gave the first 2 rounds to Aljo gave the third round to Jan.
And
So all 3 agreed. Round 3 went to Jan, and then they were split after. So one judge had Aljo winning through 3 rounds. I have no, sure, maybe you can make the case on it being a 2-1 Jan, but 2-1 Sterling. Dude, the guy was, at a certain point, if you're going for that many takedown attempts and you're not landing jack, that's got to work against you. Jan had went 7 for 7, and it was effortless. This guy was just kicking the back of Aljo's leg, and he was just plopping down. And then yeah, obviously he wasn't really entertaining going to the ground with him, but kicked him a little bit after. To me, that it just felt like more of a message that Jan was sending, was like, oh, you think you're the guy that's supposed to be the one that's going to work the ground game and take me down? Look how easily I'm going to take you down. I'm not going to go down there, but look at how easily I can take you down.
well,
7 for 7 versus 1 for 17.
there were a couple.
We were making fun of Room last time for his efforts
The
against
continuous takedown that never ends.
Caceres. Yeah, 1 for 17, and somehow he's up 2-1. Yeah, he did outstrike him.
That's what I was going to get
I didn't
at.
feel like his strikes were impactful by any means, though.
But that's what I'm going to get at, because that seems to be what everybody who's defending Aljamain, at least defending the scorecards in favor of Aljamain, are saying. They're saying, oh, look, he was outstriking Petr. And I'm like, but again, we've had this conversation before. That's not the only thing that matters. If that were the only thing that matters, we'd be watching boxing. We wouldn't be watching MMA. There was way more control time, way more takedowns, way more takedown defense on the part of Petr Yan. And I don't see how, I do see it, and it's very frustrating, but, I think this is another one of those biased things where, similar to Adesanya, you want Aljamain Sterling to win for whatever XYZ reason. And it doesn't matter that Petr Yan was clearly outfighting him. That's just what people's biases are going to speak towards. So, because again, just looking at the stats towards the end of, at the end of the fight, Petr had that. I don't know how you would score it the way you scored it. Even if, fine, give Sterling a, round one, let's say. It doesn't matter. He had the other rounds.
Yeah, that fourth round for sure. I couldn't have imagined those three refs, the three judges, not being in consensus that Jan had that fourth round. It was very clear. Sterling looked like he was about to fall down. He had nothing left in the tank as well.
So the way I got this down here is going into the second, he started to look a little bit wobbly. And Jan was definitely outshining him in terms of the TD defense. That was incredible. Round one, actually, where there were a bunch of takedowns by Jan. Sterling had some solid knees that he was throwing in there. But yeah, round three was interesting for me because I got down here that I think Jan could have actually finished it, and it looked like he backed up a couple times just to sort of like, going back to what you were saying, it seemed like he was just trying to goad Sterling, and it's like, well, why, dude? He could have probably finished it in the third. It looked like there were moments. It just seemed like he was being mean and trying to bleed him. So I don't know, man. As far as that knee, I gotta be honest. When that happened, I thought it was clean. And unfortunately, we couldn't see anything but I think there were two angles that they were showing, one from the top and one from a different side view, but there was no clean shot of Sterling's knee. And over the past couple of days, some photos have come out that, you know, are showing possibly that his knee was off the ground prior to the knee by like that much. So I mean, if that's the case, man, I don't know how you could call it illegal, and these aren't official UFC photos. I think they're from I don't want to say they're from a media source that was there. A photographer snapped it at just the right time. He's got two actually, one prior to the knee connecting and then one post the knee connecting, which even shows that he may not have taken a direct hit to the face either. It looks like he may have gotten hit on the glove, but it's hard to tell because the video angles were a little bit screwy, and at least from those two pictures, it looks like, you know, there may actually not have been an illegal knee, and there may not have been a knee that fully cleanly landed either. So
the initial angle that we were seeing that they kept showing, where we were like, well, was his knee down or not? The camera was showing the left side of Sterling, so it was his right knee that was the one that would have been on the ground.
Yeah.
And then when they did finally show it, to me, it looked like, yeah, his knee was down. So for me, I was like, yeah, you're not supposed to hit him. You're not supposed to knee them when they're down. So I knew that, yeah, he's not going to, I knew he was going to get disqualified, but I didn't know what the rules were. And obviously not these two guys, the fighters, didn't know what the rule was in that case too. Like, so what happens with the title? Like, does it get vacated? Does he keep it, but we get into no contest? Does Aljamain get it? So obviously Aljamain ended up getting it, but and then you're hearing apparently Mark Smith was saying, they were saying like the ref said fighter's grounded, but yeah, he still blasted him. And then you're hearing, his corner told him you can hit him, knee him. So kind of a couple of different things. Because if you watch the replay, you can see there's like a half second where while Jan has Sterling kind of in that position, he kind of looks up like this really quick like that and then puts it back down. And it looks like his mouth kind of opens maybe for a second. And then there was another shot of like his corner, like, you know, sitting like this, talking and telling him kind of what to do. And once he landed the knee, one of them was like, yes. It's like, well, you're not allowed to do that.
Well, again, the only thing that I could think of is like those photos are showing, maybe considering how low the corner is to the ground there, because they're right here.
Yeah, so the vantage point maybe couldn't tell.
They can literally see, you know, if the knee was fully connected to the mat or not. Whereas the UFC video cam is elevated, so that's always going to look like it's fully on there. And again, those photos that came out make it look like, no, dude, his knee was like a centimeter to an inch off the ground before contact. So
let's see what happens. I mean, right after when they were talking with Dana, he said, we want to book that fight back ASAP.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jan wants to do it. Sterling said he wants to do it. And then he said he wants to do it. And then he was like tweeting stuff like to like Cejudo. He's putting pictures up with his whole, because when the fight was announced, right, he threw the belt on the ground. Yep. I was like, well, at least like he's kind of like taking it as like, you know, I didn't truly win it. Like I won by technicality. But But then after, like, he's taking pictures, there's like videos with him in like whatever, champagne glass or whatever. And then he put out a video today, like a 25-minute video for his podcast talking about the fight. And then he's like, I had those pictures and stuff because my family was saying, like, you're still the champion now. You should take these pictures, be proud or whatever. It's like, whatever, dude. Like, that all sounds like kind of pretty convenient because my initial reaction was, at least he's not being a douchebag about it. When he dropped the belt, I was like, fine, because it's not his fault. He got hit in the head, like he got kneed. Well, whatever. You're saying it looks like he maybe didn't, but from my vantage point, it looks like he got a clear shot to the head illegally. So I'm like, yeah, technically you won. And I guess technically the rules suggest that in this case, in a title fight, you get the belt, because this is the first time this has ever happened where a title fight had a belt transferred in this fashion. So yeah, if those are the rules, and yes, you're technically the champion. But he was giving Jan crap, calling him the paper champion because he kind of had an easy path to his title, and he fought for a vacated belt. He didn't take on the incumbent champion, who was Cejudo, prior to his vacating it. So it's like, if he was a paper champion for that, what the hell are you?
Yeah.
Like paper light? Like, I have no idea at that point what you could be called. And he acknowledged it in that video that he posted today. He's like, I don't truly feel like a champion. It's like, well, you shouldn't. You're technically a champion, and not because you outfought him, because he did something he should not have done. Again, that's how it looked in my eyes, that it was not a legal hit. So the decision, the results, the outcome of the fight, I agree with. I didn't know that was the rule in terms of belt transfer. If that is the rule, then that's the rule. But you got to run that back, man. Because again, let's say he did that. If Jan did that and he was like not looking good that fight, like he was down 3-0 at that point, then you could make a case, well, he blasted him in the head, illegal shot. He's not getting a title fight again. He already was losing that fight. But he was, I think most people, probably Dana as well, would be like, he was ahead of that fight. So given that, we're going to rebook it, and they both fighters want it. Dana wants it. Just a matter of when is it going to be. Maybe, I don't know, maybe after June is my guess, something like that.
Either way, it needs to happen quick. So, because this needs to get resolved, man. This brought up a lot of questions, and we'll see.
And that division already is stacked up the gill.
Oh yeah.
It is a very, very heavy division with a lot of talent, and Cejudo's has been flirting annoyingly, and flirted again last night or the day before about making his return. So that would just add even more moving pieces. TJ Dillashaw is still going to come back. Everyone's calling him out. You had Munoz win last week. You have Sean O'Malley coming up. Not that he's ranked, but you have all these guys that are very talented in a stacked division. And then you have the championship status, which technically has a champion, but like with a question mark on it. So it's like, and I think probably Dana understands that too. He didn't go into it at this depth, but he said, we want to book that ASAP. So hopefully it can be ASAP. I think May could be the earliest possibility, because it seems like May doesn't quite have an event yet. I think April and June are kind of set, but I don't think there's anything for May, because again, they were talking to Dana about that yesterday. They asked him, hey, what's going on in May? He's like, we don't have anything. He's like, I don't have anything to tell you, but we'll be fine. Let me see if I can find anything right now while we're on it. So you have Stipe obviously coming up. Oh, it looks like, I think the UFC 261 is going to be with Shevchenko and Andrade, so she's going to defend her title. I don't see June's posted yet, so I guess they were just talking about it. I'm looking at UFC's website. So we'll see. Hopefully that gets booked sometime soon. But that was an unfortunate ending, because that fight was thoroughly entertaining. I was very happy with how it was going, and then that he did that.